Hey everybody, Tim Norris here, aka GreyElephant.
I'm Carmen Norris.
And welcome to episode
16.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
It is. This is like a coming of age episode.
You know what 16 is?
That's like 8 times
plus
2.
8.
That is like doubly symmetrical.
So symmetrical.
That is beautiful. I didn't even
Yes.
think about it until you mentioned that. It's like, yes, I mean, it is. It's 8 plus 8 or 8 times 2. Either way, we're going to take 8 and we're going to make it doubly symmetrical.
Doubly symmetrical.
All right, so the purpose of this video is that we're going to talk about games that we played for the first time in 2014, but they were not necessarily released in 2014. Maybe they were 2013 or 2012, 2011 or 2010, all the way back to whatever. I don't know. I didn't really check.
So they might have missed out on getting in, top games of the year because we simply hadn't played them yet.
That's right. Well, they can't make it for top games of the year because
if we hadn't played
it's
them.
2014 top games of the year.
Right.
These are not 2014 titles.
Exactly.
So therefore, for clarification purposes. So, all right, before we get into this, I want to talk to you guys about something real quick. We have set up a Patreon webpage. This is something that we're trying to encourage to be able to get contributions in to try to help us keep this show running because it is we got things we want to do. We want to get more cameras. We want to get some better lighting. We want to do some other stuff, and we can't do that. But if you guys would help us by clicking on that and going over there and maybe just pledging $1, that would be fantastic. We'd really appreciate it. So let's get this party started. We ready?
We are ready.
All right. So these are games that were kind of like, hey, going into 2014, we didn't know what to expect, and these kind of like wowed us. These are like special games.
Exactly.
So you want to start it? Which one do you want to start with?
Sure. Let's start with Lewis and Clark, because I heard kind of a bad review on this one before I played it.
Did you? Really?
Yeah, somebody had played it with a lot of players. They were playing it with the wrong rules. They didn't quite understand how to play the game. And they only played it once. And a lot of times when you only play a game once, you kind of get a bad taste in your mouth.
That's interesting because, I wouldn't ever review this one after playing once because, it is one of those games, in my opinion. It says it plays up to 5. I do not ever recommend playing with 5.
I think they played with 5.
Yeah, and that is tough. I'm not going to lie because this game has some serious AP issues. It's a racing game. And one of the things I have to encourage people when you learn this game or when you're first playing it, don't keep preparing and just trying to just go. Go. Everything will eventually work its way itself out.
I gotta be honest. It kind of, at the very end, like the first couple of times I played, the very end turned me off. Because racing games, they feel so unsatisfying, Well, they got to the end first and I was gonna take another turn and my turn was gonna be awesome,
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like when you're playing Star Realms and something and you're like, oh my god, I've got like
such great hand.
I'm gonna have 40 attack and you bastards, you killed me! I know that feeling.
Games that end immediately just kind of turn me off. But other than that, it's a great game. I love the way it combines the worker placement and a little bit of deck building.
Yeah, it's got a little touch of
engine building going on.
It's got a touch of everything that we really love about gaming. And the racing aspect, it can kind of be a turn-off in a way, but once you get used to it, I think that it's one of those deals where you understand and you get the mindset that, hey, if I can just get there, you know what I'm saying? And that's the trick.
I think it's really cool how you have to make your boat bigger in order to hold more workers and all that, too. I mean, it's really got a lot going for it. It's
one of those games, too. This is funny. Every time I see Lewis and Clark, I always think of National Lampoon European Vacation. Do you guys remember that scene when they were let's be pigs? And remember they had to guess who the greatest explorers. You don't remember that? And his name was Clark. And his wife goes, Clark! And he goes, Clark, that's it! And they won. You don't remember that? No. Oh my gosh, that shit was classic. That's the problem with my wife. She was not exposed to the classics like I was. Repeated a lot. So, all right, next game, we are going to talk about
Robinson Crusoe.
Now, this one was one that I've always had on my list, and then it went out of print. Finally, it came back, and I traded for this, and I can't even remember what I traded off. Good trade.
It was like the best trade ever. Because it's such a good game. I don't even care what we traded for it.
We love co-ops. Her and I. We like co-ops an awful lot. And this is one of those ones to me that, it's got the luck of the dice, but you can kind of work against that luck by just saying, okay, we know we've got to have this, let's guarantee that we don't even have to roll the dice by working together,
I think that I like about the game isn't so much that it's co-op, but that it's a storyline.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you figure this one and then Eldritch Horror has the storyline. We really enjoy that.
Even the Alien Encounters, I feel like these are
Alien
all story-driven games.
And then there's the one that we just played that's not co-op, where we were against each other.
I don't remember. Fallen.
Fallen
Yes.
has the storyline. I think it's the storyline that really is what attracts me to this game. It's what I really enjoy.
I'm sure Ignacy would really appreciate that because he's always about board games that tell stories. And surely this is one of the best story-driven games in the industry, in my opinion, because you do feel like you're in a constant struggle against nature. And how are you going to combat it? And you're running out of time. Then you got the weather, and you got...
This is right up there with Alien Encounters as far as it just really immerses you into the whole experience.
It really does. This is a fantastic game. If you like co-ops and you like board games that tell stories, this is certainly one of the tops in my book. I love this game. Like I said, good trade. Definitely a good trade. I don't have any National Lampoon story to go with that one, though.
And now I have Legacy, the Testament of Duke de Cracy, which really surprised me. It surprised both of us, I think. We really weren't expecting it to be so fun. And for me, coming from a woman's perspective, it almost felt like I was playing through a romance novel because, you're kind of matching characters up.
50 Shades of Grey, is that what it...
No. The nice little 18th century Christian romance novel.
50 Shades of Dick Tracy. Well, I thought, to me, what I liked about it, not only is it fun to play, but I think that it's such a cool twist. You don't really see a game like this out on the market where you're trying to build a legacy, with family and you're passing, your children and all that. That's really cool. I mean, I don't think there's ever a game out there. I think
it's really interesting, too, that you can kind of take different strategies. Like, you can get your points based on having lots and lots of children, or you can maybe have a smaller family and kind of, build up your fortune more so.
Or focus on nationalities and things with the bonus cards and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to score. Every game we've played of this has just been fantastic. I mean, I really cannot recommend this one enough. It is a fabulous game.
Yes.
Ready?
It was really a surprise.
Now this one is better for... I'm going to introduce this one as...
Yeah?
It's kind of like, it was good for me, but maybe not for you. Okay. I love Russian Railroads. I think this is a fantastic game. It is just it has no theme, let's be honest. But I'm building a railroad. I feel like I'm building a railroad. Okay. But it is just a beautifully designed basic worker placement game. And I don't know. I mean, I think it is an absolutely beautifully designed game. And you're all like...
I don't know why I don't get into this game, honestly.
I don't either.
I get into mathy games, typically. And this is kind of a mathy game, right? But I don't know. The theme's just not there. I wouldn't give it a bad review. I mean, I think... You know what irks me the most? Is that you go around the score track like 4 or 5 times.
You do. It's like, what's your score? 579!
It should be a little harder to get points.
Hey, I've been working on the railroad. Well, I think that other than...
It's a good game. It has really good components.
Other than ginormous scores, okay? What else would turn you off about it? I mean, think about it. I mean, it's really cool. I think there's a lot of cool ways because you can like go up on different tracks, and different tracks are going to score you different bonuses, and I don't know. I think that's really cool.
Okay, you've convinced me. Let's play.
Right now. No, I'm kidding.
Now.
All right.
Yes.
You know what? Just fine. Mock me. Just mock me. That's what you should do. In front of camera.
Honestly,
in front of the camera, everybody and God. Just
I feel kind of stupid because I don't really have a good reason why I don't like the game. As a reviewer, I should have a good reason. It's just simple. It's simply that there are other worker placement games I would prefer. That's just,
But it still shocks me because you love worker placement games so much. And I can't understand why you don't like that.
You know what I think the problem is?
No.
That I'm not collecting cards.
I think what your problem is that, think of another worker placement in like Stone Age. You love Stone Age, but you like it because it's cavemen. It is.
You get to collect. The theme.
Yeah, and you get to collect food, and you get to feed your people. Yeah. If you're not feeding your people, you're just not happy, are you?
And then Bruges. I like it because it involves cards.
She said Bruges. Mark my...
I'm sorry.
say Bruges.
I'm sorry. Take a drink.
Take a drink. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with that, that is the Grey Elephant Gaming drinking game that every time we mispronounce something, which we do quite often.
But it's usually him. I mean, I'm sorry.
You will be drunk within 5 minutes, we promise you. Let's go through our Felds. Now, I really feel like 2014 was the year of us being introduced to Feld.
It was the year of Feld.
It was, because we knew kind of who Feld was. But we really didn't know who Feld was. Now, we'll start with one of them, and that is Bora Bora. And I got this... I bought this for like $20.
Is that the Feld game we started with?
No, this is not the Feld game.
It's the one that sticks out in my mind.
The one that you said Bruges, but it's Brew. That is the first one I think we played at Feld.
Yeah. But I just didn't think about it being a Feld at the time.
Yeah, and then we played Castles of Burgundy, and then we played Trajan, and we ended up playing this. And I think we played this even before Trajan.
We did.
But anyways, and I know there's another one I'm forgetting.
I think this is the one where it started to click in my head. Oh, it's a Feld game. I like Feld games.
No, that was the cricket I got out of your ear. And yes, this one to me was, I don't know, I mean, it's not the best. Don't get me wrong. I think there's better ones. In fact, I think the other two we're going to talk about are better than this one. But I like this one an awful lot. Now, in a two-player game, it's not quite as competitive as what it is when you're playing with 4 players. At 4 players, this is a fantastic game because it gets tight when you're trying to, put your dice on to be able to do the actions and such. So
I think that it adds to the complexity of the game. It gives you more decisions to make because you're rolling the dice, and then you have to decide where to put them. It's like you can't really plan ahead as much as you can in other worker placement games, the dice roll.
And let's go to the next one, and that would be Castles of Burgundy, which is another one.
It also has a dice roll.
And this is the same. This one, to me, is very similar to Bora Bora in the fact that you're doing the dice and using the dice as workers, kind of. But I like this one better. I think this one
seems more streamlined.
Yeah, and I like how you can create combos with the buildings.
Yeah.
I build this building that gives me a free action.
More actions.
Yeah, you can get up to like 3 times that you're doing something, and when you make those combos, you're like, woohoo!
Yeah,
I am the best.
It's very
player
satisfying,
and
you're building a little thing on your board, so that makes it satisfying.
You are building a little thing on your board. Yes. I think you're building like a village or a town
English
or
is
a
so
city.
good tonight.
Yeah. But I think it's neat how once you fill up a certain area of your player board, then that's when it triggers and you get the bonuses and stuff like that. So you kind of want to get pushed and try to fill up them areas, but at the same time, it's kind of like you're spreading out and you're doing a bunch of other little things at the same time.
And you have to kind of decide, do I want to take this dark green area where I only have to put 3 buildings, or do I take this big one that's going to give me more points, but I might not finish it?
That's the thing. You may not finish it. And plus, in the big green ones, it's usually, that's the animals. And typically, you want to get all of the same type of animal in there if you can. And that's not really easy to do.
And then everybody's fighting for you over the chickens or whichever animal you're going to
get your hand off my chickens! Nobody here but us chickens! Last one for the Feldish would be Trajan. And this is probably my... Okay, if I had to make a list, I know Aquasphere is way up there, Castles of Burgundy, and then Trajan. And I don't know if I could pick between any. I don't know. I almost think this may be number 2, and Castles of Burgundy and Aquasphere are my number 1 and 2. And this one would be like 2, you know what I'm saying? It's like 1A, 1B, and this one would be 2. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that somebody followed me.
I would put this down at the bottom, though, personally. I don't know. It just... there are certain areas of the board that aren't used as effectively as others. I feel like it's not as balanced as
I could agree with that to an extent, but I think that's more in the case of the 2-player game. When we played 4-player, it seemed like everybody was all over the place.
You're forced to use the other areas of the board because of the way
you have to,
maneuver
exactly.
your pieces around.
But I found in a 4-player game, rocking the Senate, man, is the way to go because...
See?
Yeah, because even in a 2-player game, you figure a 2-player game, typically you're always going to still get a tile.
Right.
Regardless.
Right,
as
so
long
it kind
as
of
you
makes the Senate not as important.
Right, but in a 4-player game, man, that Senate is very important. And the first time I played this, I didn't know that, I'll be honest, but I worked on the Senate and I worked on the shipping. So shipping in the Senate, and then I did a little building. But those are the only two real main things I kept working on was the Senate and the shipping. And I ended up pulling out the win, and I was kind of shocked. But I think it's because the 4-player game, the Senate is so important.
That's funny, because that's what I was going to say.
I had so many
shipping was the other thing in a 4-player game, because I like to do the military a lot. And I
Military's
find that
too hard.
it doesn't get you. There's too many steps involved for the amount of points you get.
Yes, and I agree. Whereas building at least gives you something immediate. You know, you're plopping that down. You can sometimes take an immediate action. Right. That's good. But military to me is very slow. Yeah, you could claim those tiles, which will help you appease the crowd at the end of the round. But at the same time, it is very difficult, if you ask me, to try to really score a lot of points.
Yeah, that was the main area of the board I was thinking. Is just not as effective as some of the others.
Yeah, because you and Brad went strong military in the first game we played. And I felt like it was almost like a mistake because you two were almost fighting over all that, which left me just freely just to go willy-nilly on the Senate. Nobody challenged me on the Senate, and nobody really challenged me on shipping. And then it seemed like Alyssa went strong on the building, so I just kind of, just did a little bit of everything. And,
which is why he loves the game.
Woo,
I win!
I like
it. Landslide!
I like it because of the wheel, and you're moving the little pieces, and that's how you activate.
That is a really neat mechanic.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of fun, So, no, I like it for other reasons. It's one of those ones where it could be a very a brain burner style game when you're first learning, because you're like, wow, I don't get to take the action unless I land directly on that spot, and then I may not be able to take both the building and the basic action because you got to land the colors there to match for the building. So it's a lot of fun. I recommend Trojan.
I want to play it now.
Right after we get done with Russian Railroad.
Yes.
I'm very disappointed that you would rank it lower though. I really am.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Bora Bora, actually. Out of the 3, I like Bora Bora the best.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Aquasphere? Even better than Aquasphere?
Aquasphere is a very good game, but it's kind of complex for me. I just can't really seem to wrap my mind around it well enough to enjoy it that much.
Would it make it better if I said we did kill the octopus instead of friendly capture and release?
Yes. If I could slaughter the octopi... Slaughter the octopuses, that would make it all better.
I want to slaughter. You want to go that one too? Okay. Let's see if she pronounces this one right.
I'm knocking things over. Cyclades. Did I pronounce it correctly?
I don't know if it's Cyclades, Cyclades, or
I think it depends on what kind of accent you have.
Let's just say take a drink. Okay, now we are not big dudes on the map style board gamers. So,
no, not typically.
But I really enjoy. I think what I mainly enjoyed about this one was the bidding and how you try to bid for the gods in their favors. I thought that to me was what made this game really fun.
It played differently than a typical dudes on the map type game. I mean, the fact that you bid. And that's just really a completely new concept to a dudes on the map type of game. And then the way that you have to move across the boats, I really enjoyed that as well. I
think what really attracted us to this one as well was that we love mythology. Yeah. And I think, seeing the Cyclops, Medusa, the Kraken, the Minotaur. Well, I don't think the Minotaur. Yeah, the Minotaur's on there. And the Centaurs and all that. That really, to us, it kind of makes it even that much better, because we're so deeply... You even...
so the theme. If it was trains... That's what I was going to say. I hate the game. I just wouldn't know.
You were even so deep into it that she was writing a book on mythology to the point. So that's how much. And so a game based upon that, even if it is a war style dude on the map style game, it still appeals to us because of the mythology themes.
Right.
Yeah, but I liked it more than anything because of the way that you had to bid for the gods and bid for the favors, and then you'd have the creatures that you could put on the map as well.
That's the main mechanic.
Oh
Really, so.
Yeah. But I liked it, and then the Titans expansion, we got that in here as well.
Which I prefer the original. He prefers the expansion.
Yeah, I do. I like the Titans. I think they're awfully cool, and I would just love to be able to break this out as a 6-player game.
I just like the original map better. I think.
Really? Yeah. Now, see, I like the other map because it's like
easier to march around.
We're on a continent,
right?
All right, next one.
Mage Wars!
I got so many cards in here, it's so heavy. All right, so another skirmish-style game. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the one thing about this. I'm going to ask you a question, and I just want you to answer this as honestly as you possibly can, okay?
Yes.
When it comes to Mage Wars, do you like playing the game more so than preparing your spellbook?
I like preparing the spellbook better than playing the game.
Yeah, and that's funny because I'm kind of 50-50 as well, because I love putting the spell book together. And then testing it isn't as fun as putting it together.
I don't know. I get really into the whole theme of Mage Wars when I'm preparing my spell book. And then when we play, I'm always frustrated.
But you won our last game.
I always think I'm losing even when I win. I think I'm losing.
The thing about this game, and I think it could be very frustrating because there's so many little keywords and so many little things that you can miss, that make for a frustrating experience at times. And I think war gamers will have an easier time with it than just casual gamers. But for you and I, even though we're hardcore gamers, I still think that this was a game where it was very frustrating because of so many little things that kind of like, well, you really can't do that. Oh, now you have to remove a die. Nope, now add a die. Nope, I'm flying, and you got a melee weapon. Nope, okay. You can't.
There are a lot of things that are add-ons too. Like, I've got this card under me, so now this changes.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, to enchantments. You have to remember your enchantments. You've got some of them that are upside down, and you have to remember to activate them to protect yourself, and, I hate it when I forget to put a protection spell on them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no!
So I think it's a beautiful game.
It is an awesome
Wonderfully designed.
Yes.
But I do think it's one of those ones that you are either going to commit to the game or it's probably going to collect dust.
That's the main reason we don't play so often is that it can take a lot of time.
Well, it takes a lot of time, and plus it's just... Going back to what I originally said, is that there's so many things that you can miss in this game when you haven't played it in so long.
You kind of need to play it regularly.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you got to play often. Okay, last but not least...
Ooh. Claustrophobia.
It's feeling tight in here. Okay, this one is... Oh my god, this is so cool.
It's fun.
I was really surprised. And once again, a dudes on the map style game.
Dudes on the map style game, but for some reason... I can play this and take it lightly and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and me too, and I don't know why.
Other dudes on those map style games I cannot do that with, but this one I can.
She cannot do it with Mage Wars. She takes that personal.
It's so mad.
She holds grudges. What's that? I didn't roll all critical twos? This game sucks. No, but when you roll a fistful of dice and you whiff, it is a little frustrating.
It is.
With this one, I think what is really cool about this one is I like how I always have to play the demons, and she always plays the people. And I think what's neat is when I hit your guys, that you have to basically mark off values to them so that, if you roll a 6, you can't activate that guy.
That's frustrating.
Oh, I think that's the best part to me.
No,
it's like,
it is a neat mechanic.
It's like you're taking wounds and you're slowing down, you know. That's what I think's neat. Plus, I like how you're exploring, You're flipping over a new tile.
I love the exploration part of this game.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main mechanic we enjoy the most.
Yeah, and it's not as deep as some other dungeon crawlers, so it's easier for us to pull this out and play as opposed to some of the other ones.
And I like that it's specifically designed for 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, because you don't have to rely upon extra players to be able to enjoy the game. It's kind of like you almost have a DM. And then, and another player.
I mean, there's a lot of games that rely on more players. Really,
exactly.
Enjoyable.
But this one wasn't the case. Yeah. I really was shocked with how much. When I first... Asmodee sent this to us, by the way. And when they first asked us, I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And then I checked into it, and I was like, oh, no.
It was another game that really surprised us.
I was like, this probably ain't going to be what I was hoping. It's rolling dice and guys, and it's the basic same combat, and I'm going to move here, and I'm going to hit you.
But it's fun.
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is. It's a super blast of a game, and I highly recommend. If you like those style games, definitely grab that one. Whoa, is that it?
That's it.
That is it. All right, so that closes out episode 6, Sweet 16. Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
It is. We just had Valentine's Day, See, this is so sweet.
Candles. I have to think of 16 board games. But we didn't have 16.
No, we only had. What do we have?
Episodes.
We had 10.
There! Finally, I got it right.
We had 8, right? I don't know.
Did we have 8?
I don't know. Let me see.
We
had.
I thought we had
1,
10.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9. Holy crap, 9. That is awful. I can't believe we did 9.
I thought we added one that was...
Yes, Russian Railroads. Yes, we had 10. So that's our top 10 games that were not released in 2014, but we were introduced in 2014, and we enjoyed them in 2014. And Anyways, anything else? Do we got any news of anything? Other than don't forget the patron thing.
Yes,
We'd love
the
that.
patron thing.
Anything else? That it?
That's it.
Hey, look out. We're going to have a contest coming up soon. Meeple Source, they're running a Kickstarter right now. They contacted us, and we're going to do a little video for them for their little meeples and stuff. They were going to send us some gift cards as a thank you. Well, we're going to give those away to you guys.
Woohoo!
So that video, when we get the package, which should be sometime this week, when that comes in, we'll shoot the video. Make sure you guys watch it, and then I will let you know how you're going to win in that video. It's just answering a couple of questions. You know, we like to keep things simple. So.
Easy questions.
Easy peasy, full of cheesy. Okay, guys. Anyways, that is it for this episode. We will see you in episode 17 next month, and I'm not really even sure what the title of that's going to be quite yet. We've come up with all kinds
surprise.
of... It is. It's a surprise. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.